You probably recognize this symbol from learning about world history in class. It is most commonly associated with the Nazi Party, which played a central role in World War II. Since then, the symbol has often been associated with hate, fascism, antisemitism, and genocide. With just a 45-degree rotation, the symbols become something entirely different. It now symbolizes good luck and prosperity in many cultures. The swastika is an ancient symbol originating from the Sanskrit word swastika, meaning well-being, good fortune, and prosperity, which combine the roots su, meaning good, and asti, to exist, to translate to bringing goodness to all. The swastika is a symbol commonly associated with Hinduism, which has long been the dominant religion in the Indian subcontinent. With over 1 billion followers, it is the world's third largest religion after Christianity and Islam. Hinduism uses many symbols to convey important spiritual meanings. One of the most sacred is Om, which is also considered the most sacred sound in Hinduism. According to Hindu belief, Om was the first sound from which all creation began. Another important symbol is the bindi, a dot traditionally worn between the eyebrows. The word bindi comes from the Sanskrit word bindu, meaning dot or point. The bindi is associated with the third eye, also known as the Ajna chakra, and symbolizes wisdom, intuition, and higher consciousness. In October 2019, Lily's Vegetarian Indian Restaurant in Ashen-Underline, Greater Manchester, United Kingdom, received criticism on social media because of a welcome sign displayed at its entrance. The sign included the word welcome alongside the swastika symbol, which some people mistakenly associated with Nazi Germany. The restaurant owners and many supporters defended the display, explaining that the symbol is an ancient Hindu religious symbol with a positive meaning. They argued that the swastika had been misused by the Nazis, and more people should understand its original significance. The swastika on the restaurant sign was a red on a white background and had been displayed before a visit from the mayor of Thameside, Councillor Leigh Trennan, during the town's pre-Diwali celebrations. To address the misunderstanding, the restaurant explained on its Facebook page that the symbol was a traditional Hindu emblem representing spirituality, auspiciousness, and good fortune, and that it should not be confused with the symbol adopted by the Nazi Party in the 20th century. The incident at the Lily's Indian restaurant is one example of how the swastika continued to be misunderstood. While the symbol has a positive meaning in Hinduism, what does it represent in other religions and cultures? Buddhism is also one of the largest religions in the world. It is estimated to have between 320 and 500 million followers, making it the fourth largest religion globally. Founded by Siddhartha Gautama, the teaching of Buddhism focuses on the path of bhavana or the cultivation of the mind to attain buddhi or enlightenment. Like Hinduism, Buddhism also uses various symbols. The swastika is used in Buddhism as an auspicious symbol and is often placed at the beginning and sometimes at the end of a sacred text to signify blessings. The swastika also appears on Buddha Pada or the footprints of the Buddha. The engraved swastika found on the Buddha's feet and toes is considered a sacred mark representing his ultimate spiritual purity, wisdom, and merit. It symbolized that every step the Buddha took was grounded in peace and compassion, leaving behind the blessed path of Dharma for his followers to follow. Buddhism is also a prominent religion in Japan, and one of its most recognizable icons is an ancient symbol known as the manji. The word manji refers to an ancient Buddhist symbol that signifies the footprints or chest of the Buddha, representing peace, prosperity, and the internal cycle of rebirth. Today, the manji remains a positive and highly visible feature of Japanese iconography, widely displayed on historic temples, religious statues, and even used as a standard icon on domestic maps to designate Buddhist temple location. In Jainism, the swastika is a foundational holy symbol that serves as the emblem for Supashvanata, the seventh Tirthankara, meaning spiritual teacher. It is a vital part of a Jain iconography, prominently displayed on the walls of all temples and the covers of the sacred texts. During religious rituals, worshippers use raw rice grains to map out the symbol on a small table before the altar to center their focus before making offerings. The four main arms of the swastika carry deep meaning, representing the four realms of worldly existence through which a soul cycles due to its karma: the human realm, the celestial world, the animal kingdom, and the hellish domain. By visualizing this path, practitioners are reminded of the transience of rebirth and the ultimate spiritual goal of escaping the cycle to achieve absolute liberation. The swastika symbol is not limited to religious purposes. It has also appeared in many other cultures and historical traditions around the world. One example is the presidential flag of Finland, where the upper left corner featured the Cross of Liberty. Among the Navajo Nation, one of the largest indigenous groups in North America, the swastika is known as a whirling log, symbols and represent humanity, life, and harmony. In Tibet, the swastika appears as a sacred Yungdrung symbol of the ancient Bon tradition, where its counterclockwise orientation symbolizes eternity and primordial truth. The swastika can also be found in the coat of arms of Leonard Chamberlain, a 16th century English heraldic design featuring three red swastika, historically known as filot, arranged around a central chevron. However, no chapter in the history of the swastika is more controversial than its adoption by the Nazi Germany. Once regarded by many cultures as a symbol of peace, prosperity, and good fortune, the swastika was transformed into an emblem of hatred, racism, and genocide. But how did the Nazis turn an ancient sacred symbol into one of the most feared symbols in human history? In the late 19th century, George von Schonerer founded the Pan-German Party, a radical right-wing political movement that sought to dissolve the Austro-Hungarian Empire and unite all German-speaking territories with Germany, a goal known as Hakenkreuz. Schonerer was also the leading figure behind two major initiatives. The first one was the Linz Program, a political manifesto that he co-authored for the Austro-German nationalist movement. Although it originally focused on democratic and nationalist reforms, Schonerer later added an Aryan paragraph, which officially introduced extreme anti-Semitic beliefs into the program. The second was the Lost von Rome movement. Launched in the late 1890s, this anti-Catholic campaign encouraged Austrian Germans to leave the Roman Catholic Church and convert to Lutheranism or Old Catholicism, which Schonerer believed better reflected German national identity. So what is the connection between George von Schonerer, Adolf Hitler, and the swastika? According to his autobiography, Mein Kampf, Adolf Hitler acknowledged that George von Schonerer was one of the people who greatly influenced his political beliefs during his early years in Vienna. From Schonerer, Hitler adopted ideas such as extreme German nationalism, strong opposition to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and intense anti-Semitism. As Hitler began building the Nazi movement, he sought a symbol that would be powerful, distinctive, and instantly recognizable on flags, uniforms, and in battle. By the early 20th century, some radical German nationalist groups had already begun using the swastika because they mistakenly believed it was an ancient Aryan symbol. The swastika itself is an equilateral cross with four arms bent at right angles and can appear in either a right-facing or left-facing form. Although the symbol had been used for thousands of years in many cultures and religions as a sign of good luck, Nazi ideology completely distorted its meaning. The Nazis falsely claimed that the swastika represents the so-called Aryan race, whom they believed to be the ancestor of the German people, and turned into a symbol of racial superiority and their belief in an Aryan master race. Why is the Aryan race a big deal to the Nazi? The Nazi concept of the Aryan race was based on a pseudo-scientific racial theories, meaning ideas that were presented as scientific but had no credible evidence to support them. The word Aryan originally came from the Sanskrit word Arya, meaning noble or honorable, and was used by ancient Indo-Iranian people as a cultural and linguistic term rather than a racial one. During the 19th century, European linguists used the term to describe the Indo-European language family, which include language spoken across Europe and part of Asia. However, several racial theories changed its original meaning by transforming it from a linguistic and cultural term into a racial category. One of the most influential figures was the French writer Arthur de Gobineau, who falsely claimed that the Aryans were a superior white race and that the Germanic people were the purest descendant. He argued that civilization flourished when Aryan blood remained pure and declined through racial mixing. Later writers such as Houston Stewart Chamberlain and Ernest Haeckel expanded this idea by linking Aryan identity to German nationalism, blonde hair, blue eyes, and anti-Semitism. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party adopted these pseudo-scientific beliefs, falsely portraying German as the Aryan master race. They also appropriated the Asian swastika, wrongly claiming it was an Aryan symbol and transforming it into the symbol of Nazi ideology. In 1920, the Nazi Party officially adopted the swastika, known in German as a Hakenkreuz or hook cross, as its official symbol. It appeared on the party's flag, badges, and armbands. In Mein Kampf, Hitler explained that after considering many different designs, he chose a flag with a red background, a white circle in the center, and a black swastika. He carefully determined the size and proportion of each element, believing the design would become the visual identity of the Nazi movement. It has been more than 18 years since World War II ended. Although Adolf Hitler died by suicide in his bunker in Berlin, the swastika continued to carry the legacy of the Nazi regime. Extremist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan, one of the most prominent white supremacist organizations in the United States, have continued to embrace the Nazi belief in Aryan supremacy and have used the swastika as a symbol of hatred. However, the KKK is only one of the many extremist groups around the world that continue to promote Nazi ideology. Symbols have always conveyed messages and ideas without the needs for word or language. The history of the swastika demonstrates how the meaning of a symbol can be radically transformed. For thousands of years, it represented peace, prosperity, good fortune, and spirituality in many cultures and religions. Yet, in the 20th century, it became one of the world's most recognizable symbols of hatred, racism, and genocide. Its story reminds us of the importance of understanding the historical and cultural context of symbols before making assumptions about their meaning. By learning their history and respecting the culture from which they originated, we can avoid misunderstanding and appreciate the powerful messages that the symbol continues to convey.